I have a question based on sub navigation. I'm working on this WordPress site and I've been able to get the main navigation going and the blog working. Um, but an example of an interior neighborhood, as I kind of drill down into neighborhoods, so as you can tell, it's kind of like a neighborhood real estate site. And I'm showing you now the static HTML version, but the idea is if I were to go to a neighborhood, in this case DuPont Circle, in all the neighborhood pages, I'm introducing a sub navigation. So my question is really this: there's 27 neighborhoods. So would I have to create 27 sub navigations only because each one links to its own specific version of a gallery, history, points of interest? And mind you, each page, for example, points of interest, history, and gallery, will all be using the same template. They'll just each have different content and obviously be pulled, the content will be pulled uniquely because they all will have different pictures in their gallery, different history about them, different points of interest. So my question is, I've created a main menu and obviously it asks you to add pages to that main menu. So the only pages I've really created are the main pages in my navigation. Some are custom pages, of course, but nonetheless, they're still just a fixed set of pages. So if they're kind of obligating me here to include pages, that leads me to believe that I would have to create an individual page for each neighborhood. So in this case, I would have to create a gallery for DuPont Circle, a history page for DuPont Circle, a points of interest page for DuPont Circle. And I don't mind doing that, that's fine. But what it leads me to believe is that I would have to really create a submenu maybe called DuPont Circle and do the same for every single neighborhood. So essentially, I would have to create 27 sub navigation menus and call those individually into their own headers too, because all of this information I have included into the header, a specific header I have. Um, but now if I'm introducing a sub navigation, I'm thinking to myself, well, hold on, how am I gonna bring this sub navigation in? I'm gonna have to include it in the header. And since that sub navigation will be hard coded with pages that I've determined from the backend admin, that means I'd have to create 27 variations of that header so that every neighborhood will properly display its own sub navigation with its own correct links to its own pages. So initially my thinking was, hey, this will be easy. I could just create one sub navigation menu, and then depending on what page it is, I could tell it to link to to a specific slug or permalink. Because I get that I'm going to have to create the pages. I get that. That's fine. I know it's going to be hundreds of pages as a result. That's okay. But I was just trying to get away from having to create, like 27 versions of this sub navigation, which then bring me to the question of how do I include that in the header? And now I'd have to create 27 versions of a header to be specifically called, and then it kind of got a little confusing from there because I don't see any other way to create a sub navigation menu from the back end without including certain pages to add to, or because here it doesn't allow me to link to, I don't know, a specific page, and even if it did, I have multiple pages that have to be on this sub navigation, not just one link. So I'm very confused at this point how I should even go about thinking about this. So just any help would be huge because even here at the neighborhood level, if I drill down to places, I'm going to pick a place in DuPont Circle, and this is just an HTML I'm showing you. So within places, there's going to be another sub navigation, but now I'm highlighting the name of the place. I'm sub highlighting the name of the neighborhood. And below it, I'm getting rid of this listings link. There'll just be two links, places and gallery. So now I'll have to introduce a sub navigation that just says places, which should go back to the appropriate places listing of that specific neighborhood. And then the gallery would go to its specific gallery for this. I'm starting to think at this point, I'm somehow going to need to have like a bunch of conditional statements. I'm new to that, so yeah, I'll learn that. If that's what I have to do, then I'm just kind of looking to see if that's really the answer. or how else I would create a custom sub set of sub menus. Because so ideally, I would like to create one sub menu for neighborhoods, and then one sub menu for places. Like you have here, you're in a place right now, and it has its own specific sub menu, which should just be places and gallery. And then the question arises into my head: how do I manipulate where they link to? Because here in the menu, they don't. I mean, for example, if I went to, I don't even know how to get back to my other menus. Like here, my main menu, which I created. Um, Let me just delete this menu. So if I went to my main menu, here on my main menu, I included my home page, my neighborhoods page, blog, about us, search listings, everything that you see here. So yeah, okay, that made sense to me. I got it. That made sense. And here I would link it to, well, it doesn't even allow me to link it. It just knows that home is hard coded. The front page, neighborhoods, um, goes to the neighborhoods page. I don't even remember how I did that. Wow, see, I'm confusing myself as I think about it. I know blog goes immediately to home.php, about us, pulls up the about us page. So I guess it's based on this, the navigation label, and then obviously the pages that I told it to include, right, because the pages were created, so it knows that it would link to those specific pages. But if I'm to create a sub navigation menu that needs to be used on multiple neighborhoods, not just one. So in this case, again, just to reiterate, or repeat myself, here's DuPont Circle, that's the neighborhood, and then here's the sub navigation. Would I literally have to create a sub menu that's just called sub menu DuPont, and then include the specific DuPont pages there? And then when I drill down into a place, would I have to create every single time a sub navigation for the place, just so it would know to go to its Oxford Houses gallery and DuPont Circle's place list? Because if that's the case, I just kind of want to know ahead of time so that I can prepare the people that will be administrating this site that, hey, there's a little bit of a learning curve here before you actually create, because the neighborhood pages are set in stone. They're never going to change. There's only a certain amount of neighborhoods in the DC area. What will change is the places that they add to those neighborhoods. Like there might be a new building that's built in a certain neighborhood, so that would be another building they want to highlight as a place in a specific neighborhood. So yeah, they're going to have to create a place page and then a place sub navigation menu, um, and then obviously make the place the child of this specific parent page, etc., etc. So there would have to be a very detailed, documented process to allow them to even understand that they need to go through all of that. So I was just hoping that there might be some other kind of dynamic way to tell it to go to a specific page, but I just haven't been able to figure out how yet. So any help on this would be just wonderful. Because I'd rather just create one sub navigation on the neighborhood level, and then one sub navigation on the place level, and then somehow dynamically tell it to, hey, go to this slug or whatever. I don't even know. Maybe an array. I have no idea at this point. So I'm just looking for some kind of guidance, and hopefully someone else has encountered a site that has many child pages that are very repetitive and maybe does have a sub navigation on interior pages and how to deal with that. So any help on this would be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much.